Alright boys and girls, we're off on another adventure today, so get your best wearing shoes, ones that feel comfortable, and your traveling shoes. Get your walking shoes on and get ready to go. Get my hat, my whip, my Discover card, and I guess we better take the keys unless we're planning on walking. Well, hello and welcome to this Alabama adventure. Tonight we travel up to North Alabama for a encounter sighting that some people up that way had here a few weeks ago. They sent me a couple of pictures of some damage that what they believe was a Bigfoot done to a chicken pen. Anyway, let me tell you the story on it. But before I do that, as I always like to say, from the tail end of the Appalachian mountain chain in the heart of the South, this is Alabama Adventures. Okay, so we'll get started on this particular Alabama adventure tonight. What I'm trying to do is to go through all of the emails and all the pictures that I got while I was in the hospital and in rehab here a few months ago, and get those stories out to you about Bigfoot or UFOs or just whatever we've had. This particular one's about a Bigfoot encounter and a sighting that some people had one afternoon. What it is, they live up in North Alabama. They live on a little farm up there. It's not a real big farm. They have some livestock. They grow a lot of their own vegetables and that type of stuff. They have a pretty good sized little cornfield out in the back part of the house, down below the chicken pen. And I'll show you a picture of that chicken house and chicken pen. It's not a very big chicken house, not like the commercial ones that you see. That's becoming very common all over the state of Alabama now. It's just a small chicken house with a chicken pen to the side of it, and as I said, I'll show you that picture in just a minute. But let me tell you a little bit about what happened up there this afternoon, that particular afternoon. They had been having some of their livestock to go missing, particularly the chickens. Something was, hold on just a minute, I always get a itch every time I start doing one of these videos. Several of the chickens had been gotten out of the chicken pen, and they thought to begin with it was possibly a fox, but they got to looking around and they found some trails through the woods leading up to the chicken house that were just too wide for a fox or coyote, a deer, or something like that. So later on they did find what they believe was a Bigfoot track or two in some of these wide trails. So that led them to believe that a Bigfoot was possibly getting their chickens. They had also, late in the afternoon, over on a mountain next to their property, or it could have been on their property, I don't remember exactly. It was either a mountain on their property or next to their property. They had heard a Bigfoot howl, do the howls like they do sometime around sundown every afternoon. So anyway, they had had some trouble the night before. Something had gotten into the chicken pen and had gotten several of the, I think it had killed one or two chickens out there. It had gotten several of them, and they'd never found them. But anyway, this particular evening, around about dark, they heard what they believe was a Bigfoot howl, or do the hoop, or whatever you want to call it, over on this particular mountain. So this woman said that her husband was very upset that they had lost some livestock, especially the night before they had lost several chickens. So he ran out into the backyard, past the chicken house, down to the edge of the cornfield, and it was undoubtedly a pretty good sized cornfield from the way she talked in her email. He ran down to the edge of the cornfield and did the howl back, the where it goes. I can't do it now the way that my voice is, but anyway, he did the howl back to the Bigfoot on the mountain over there. And she said just a few minutes later, not very long, but just a few minutes later, they heard something come running down the side of the mountain. I believe it adjoined their property. It adjoined the cornfield. but they heard something coming through the woods running, and she said it sounded like a big truck coming through the woods and coming through the corn stalks and the cornfield, and said this thing ran up. What it was a Bigfoot ran toward her husband since he had just made the yell. Said it ran directly toward him. It came through the cornfield, and they could hear this thing knocking down corn stalks and stomping as it come up through the cornfield toward him. And said it stopped probably 20 to 30 yards from him, and said then it let out another howl or yell or whatever you want to call it. And said, of course, her husband became frightened that this thing had gotten this close. I think he had a gun in his hand, but he never seen it well enough to get a shot at it or anything. And of course, we here at the Alabama Bigfoot Society don't condone you shooting one, but if it comes to your life or it, then you certainly don't have any choice. But anyway, this thing yelled back at him 2 or 3 times and said it was just a powerful yell when it did. You could tell it came from the pit of its stomach whenever this thing yelled back at him. Okay, they got on back in the house that afternoon, and I don't think they heard it again that afternoon. But later that night, something broke into the chicken pen once again and did some damage to the gate where it just pulled the gate open, broke the little latch or lock on it, and almost all the chickens were gone the next morning. Anyway, I'm going to show you these 2 pictures, and they have circles where the some of the damage on the gate to the chicken pen was also within this little circle they have, or outline, whatever you want to call it, is where the latch was. The latch was broken, and anyway, that was something that I did want to show you on here, was this particular encounter that they had where the Bigfoot ran up to the man within about 20 to 30 yards, I believe is what they said. And then later that night it came back. The thing about it is when you do the howls and that type of stuff, I've said it time and time again, and I know I'm just wasting my breath telling most people, because a lot of you out there that are into the Bigfoot research believe everything you see on shows like Finding Bigfoot and that type of stuff. A lot of it may be true. A lot of it is not. A lot of it is staged. And I know that from some of the TV shows that I've done. I don't mean to bust anybody's bubble on what they see on TV. But a lot of times when the TV shows come to you to help them with a segment or to get want you to go on or whatever, they tell you what they want you to say, and they tell you what they want you to do. And then they work it in. They edit it out. Just like we edit these videos sometimes whenever I say something wrong or a word doesn't come out just right or whatever, and we edit the videos ourselves. But they have more up-to-date, well, we have very up-to-date editing programs, but they have a whole lot better editing stuff than what we have, and they can do a whole lot better job at editing and putting TV shows together. I know there was one TV show that I helped out with a while back, and when they got here they told me what they wanted me to say, and that's what we did. I did what they told me. I did what they wanted, and when the show aired, it was just a little small segment that we had, but it was nothing about what we had actually talked about. They had edited it around where it sounded like I was talking about something else, in which I guess I was, the way that it was edited. But you do have to sort of be careful and take what you see on TV with a grain of salt. It's not always what it appears to be. And as I said, I have asked people when they come here, do not make the howls. Do not do the wood knocks. We don't know what they mean. I don't. There may be somebody that claims they do, but I don't believe they do. But I had somebody to come a while back, and that's what I told them whenever they got here. I said, I'll carry you to where you will more than likely see a Bigfoot, because I've been seeing one there pretty often. And sure enough, when we went out, we did find a track. As we were coming up a road, we stopped so I could show them some bent trees and some broken trees and some signs like that. And one of them spotted on top of a hill a Bigfoot, or what looked like a Bigfoot, standing in front of a tree. It was the outline of a two-legged creature standing on 2 legs, and it appeared to be leaning up against this tree. And I had asked them Do not make the howls. Do not do anything like that. Just go out and we'll just see what we can see. But no, the first thing they did when they got out of the back when I had my Jeep, is as soon as they got out of the Jeep, the first thing they went to do was screaming and hollering the yells and that type of stuff, and the Bigfoot on top of that. We did manage to get a picture of this Bigfoot on top of the hill. But anyway, after they got through doing their howls and their screams and everything else that they did this evening, I have returned to this place several times since I have got back out doing a little bit of research. I'm still not able to get out like I would like to, but I have been to this place several times, and there are no more signs there. A lot of the signs that were there, like some bent trees and broken trees, are gone, and I have not seen any tracks from the road. I'm not able to get into the woods right now, but you could actually find tracks if you drove slow enough down this little road. You could actually see tracks sometimes on the side of the road. I haven't seen any of that I'm gonna say in the last 4 or 5 months now that I have been home. So whatever they said to the Bigfoot from their howls and their yells has got them all moved out. I mean, it was a very good research place that I had been going to for many, many years, and because some people think that they are experts on Bigfoot, then they get out and they do these howls and they do more damage than what to do. I don't claim to be an expert. I have not had a Bigfoot to examine, to watch daily. I do know how I come in contact with them. I do know how me and Dorothy over the years began to win their confidence, and it was not from doing howls and that type of stuff. So anyway, I do want you to look at these two pictures. Dorothy may have already had them up, but anyway, I'm just doing a little complaining tonight on this video, I guess. But anytime you go to a foreign country, would you get out and just begin talking some of their language, and you didn't know what you were talking meant? If somebody said, go up to that guy over there and say this particular phrase to him, you could be insulting him, his mother, anything. If you don't know the language, you need to keep your mouth shut and let somebody else do the interpretation for you in some other country. And it's the same way whenever you're looking for Bigfoot. If you don't know what you're saying to them, and I don't think anybody's figured out their language yet. I know I certainly hadn't. But you don't need to be doing these howls and this type of stuff. This video here, where the Bigfoot did charge this particular man, come down off the side of a mountain, and they could hear it coming through the woods, and they could hear it very well whenever it came through the cornfield. I think he was very lucky that the Bigfoot decided to stop and not attack him. Now that could be a way to get one very angry, very mad at you, to where it would attack you, and that may be what the government is working on. If we can get these things mad enough to where they go to attacking people, then we can say, yeah, they're out there, and we can put bounties on them. I was talking to someone today and said, why hadn't any evidence been found on a Bigfoot to prove that they do exist? There has been evidence found, but it's been covered up by the government. The government, for whatever the reason, and I have my opinions on why they want it to be kept quiet and why they want it to be kept covered up. But you just need to be very careful in what you howl back at these things when you don't know what you're saying. But anyway, I guess that will bring this little video to a close. I didn't want it to get real long. I just wanted to show you some more pictures that I have received over the last few months of Bigfoot encounters, Bigfoot sightings, and that type of stuff. So as I always do, I'll tell you that the Alabama Bigfoot Society is run completely out of pocket. And if you're in a position to where you can and where you would like to make a donation, that would be very much appreciated. And I would like to say at this time to all of you who have made donations, we do thank you very much. It is put to some very good use. Anyway, if you like what we're doing down here, hope you give us a like. If you like our paranormal investigations and our videos, we hope you subscribe to the channel. Share this video with everybody you can think of, everybody and their brother. Anyway, I guess with all that being said, I'll be looking for you next time on the next Alabama adventure. And until then, may the Great Spirit always walk close to you in your circle of life.